go up higher in like Weber. Oh shit.
Oh,
Starting 911 call. To
I'm
cancel,
fine.
press the 911 button on the mirror.
Are you fine?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Calling 911.
Hold on a minute. Back up a little bit. Can you back up?
You have reached 911.
Man, that's hard to watch. So we're here with attorney Samuel Lynn. Sam, what are your thoughts going through your head when you see something like this?
God, we watch video footage all day. A large part of our practice is catastrophic car accidents, trucking accidents, and it never gets easier to watch. As you can see, I mean, the amount of force involved in a car crash like this is just absolutely immense. One car ended up underneath a pickup truck. So the amount of force involved is just outrageous, and it causes a lot of injuries.
So what we know is the police were actually chasing this guy who was fleeing, and as a result, he went through the intersection and he crashed into another car. And the guy who was filming, he was part of that accident. But can we hold the police liable for this one, Sam?
It's a tough question to answer, and it depends on the jurisdiction. So I think this was in Utah, California, there's specific laws. Every state has their own laws giving some amount of immunity to police force when they're doing their official job. Now, they can't do things that are reckless, that put people, the public at risk. So, there are some cases where if the police are doing a real high speed chase through someplace where there's a lot of people that live there, a residential area, if the car hits a person, then maybe you could hold the police responsible. But it's really up in the air. So if you're a victim in that type of case, I highly recommend that you contact an attorney who specializes in those types of cases.
But so if this happened as a result of a police chase, obviously the guy who was driving is responsible for this incident. He should not have ran that intersection. But what kind of compensation can you get? I mean, can you go after that guy, or can you go after your own insurance? What's the solution here?
So you could definitely go after the guy. And, if it was Jeff Bezos or, Bill Gates who was driving the car, you could sue them directly and they would have enough money to pay you the judgment that you got against them, because clearly they're at fault. So you could go against them. But in real life, you're not going to be hit by a car that was being driven by the richest person in the world. It's probably some guy who's running from the police. He's probably in and out of jail, has no assets. So it wouldn't actually make sense to sue him directly. Even assuming he had a valid insurance policy on the car he's driving, fleeing from the police like that is a felony. And the insurance company could very well deny coverage because you cause an accident during the commission of a felony, and that's one of the exemptions so that the insurance company doesn't have to cover it. The only other avenue for getting compensated would be your own insurance if you have what's called underinsured motorist coverage or uninsured motorist coverage. And, I want all of your listeners, all your viewers to know it is incredibly, incredibly important that you buy this coverage on your own insurance policy and do it for more than the state minimum. The person who was injured in this, it was in critical condition. They're probably going to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills, and their life may never be the same. If they have a $15,000 state minimum policy, that's the most money that they're going to be able to get. And that's not even going to touch their medical bills. So it's really not going to help them much. I know that people are trying to cut costs and these are tough economic times, but driving a car is probably the most dangerous thing any of us do on a regular basis. And we need to make sure that we're covered, because there are a lot of people out there who either don't have insurance at all or have state minimal policies. And if they injure you badly, you're not going to be able to get compensated for that. So, it may be a couple more dollars a month to get higher policy limits for yourself, but it's well worth it.
Got it. And so what should this person do? Let's say he was your client. He just got in this car accident. He's the driver. What are the first steps he should follow? Should he try to contact his insurance policy and maybe negotiate a settlement with them?
Absolutely not. The first thing you want to do if you're involved in a car accident is call your lawyer. you should have a lawyer that you know that you trust ahead of time, because when there's an accident, it's not planned. You know, by definition, it's an accident, and you're going to be very vulnerable at that point. You're going to be injured. You might have, you know, a head injury. You might be in the hospital. You're going to be scared. You're not going to know what to do. You're not going to be able to go to work, so you're going to be hurting for money. Have someone ready that you can call, because car accidents do happen fairly regularly. And your lawyer is going to be able to explain to you what the next steps are. If you're injured, go to the hospital, go to urgent care. Make sure you get follow-up treatment. Don't wait to see if your injury gets better. You know, go be proactive about it, because you want to have documentation that you were having pain, that you were having these injuries. A lot of times we see the defense lawyers, they don't want to pay because they say, look, your client, if they were really injured, they would have gone to the doctor sooner. So those are the tactics that they use. So just make sure that you're doing the things to take care of yourself, to protect yourself. And your lawyer is going to be able to fill you in on what the next steps would be after that.
And having the lawyer maybe on your phone ready to call would probably be the safest thing you could do and the biggest investment you could take on. For my perspective, I think having the lawyer, a go-to lawyer, is probably one of the most important things you could do. Personally, I think that you are one of the best lawyers I personally know for this type of case. So having you saved in their phone, I think would be great. That's Samuel Lynn. He does personal injury, and he's a really good lawyer. He's very.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And for saying that, I'll tell you what, all of your listeners, I'll give them single one of them a free consultation when they call me. No charge. If you're in an accident, give me a call. Just tell me that you saw me on Narciso's show, and we'll give you a free consultation.
Sounds good, Sam. Well, thank you very much for coming in, and I appreciate you being here as always.
Thank you.